everybody has the minutes from last month's meeting in front of them to look over.
I make a motion, we accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Hey, Rich, before we go any further with this, I want to make a motion at this point that I would like to reorganize the officers of our council.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Before we go on, if the record can reflect that it's my understanding the vice chairman is acting as in the mayor's capacity this evening, and therefore his vote, he will not have a vote, but he would be available to break any ties if they do exist.
Motion to close the nominations.
I believe we need a second.
Oh,
Second.
Okay, now I think we can move to close the nominations, if you would like.
I'm moved to close the nominations.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Now, my understanding, that was the motion to close the nominations, and now my understanding is we're, a vote can be called on the motion for Mr. Ragley to be appointed as the president.
I thought we just did that.
Since we have no.
My understanding was initially there was a motion to appoint Mr. Ragley, then there was a motion to close the nominations, and you took a vote on that to close the nominations, and now we're back to the original motion of...
No, we actually made a motion to nominate Tim as the president, which was made by Bud, seconded by me,
Correct.
and then Linda made the motion to close the nominations, which was, I believe, seconded by Bud.
That's correct. And in other words, you can't vote on the primary motion. There was a secondary motion made to close the nomination. That has to be voted on before the primary motion is voted on.
Okay.
Okay, so now you're
Gotcha.
back to calling a motion, or on the primary motion was made to appoint Tim as the president, and now you're voting on that motion.
I understand. Thank you.
We got everything the way it needs to be now?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any other parts of reorganization?
Will the old slate of officers remain the same?
We'll have to elect,
That will come at a different meeting, or?
we will have to elect.
Do you want to reorganize that, do a new vice president, new pro temp, all three?
That was my understanding of the motion that was made.
I'll make a motion to Richie Cochran be our vice president.
Richie Crocker, don't want.
Nominate Linda Runyon as vice president.
You want to add, John?
No, now there can be discussion of vote. The only thing is I believe at this point, since Tim was made, he should actually be in charge of the meeting at this point. The question then comes up, which since you are no longer vice chairman or acting as mayor, acting as mayor, Tim is now the president, will be running the meeting, and are you assuming the duties of mayor this evening?
Is it an option?
It's debatable.
The way I understand, by the way, I read that, the president's the mayor and the vice president runs the meeting, is the way I read that.
Runs the meeting. Well, not the mayor. The mayor only.
No, the president becomes the mayor, the vice president runs the mayor.
That's
Or
correct.
Vice president runs the meeting.
That is correct, but now Tim has been appointed president. You're no longer in charge of the meeting.
Okay.
Tim is in charge of the meeting at this point, and in my understanding, he'll be the acting mayor then. You are still a member of council,
Yes.
and until you replace the vice chairman, you're allowed to vote, now that you're not acting as mayor any longer.
I decline the vice presidency.
First, I guess we need for Tim to assume leadership in the
In case you do. We do need a nomination for president as declined. Vice president, sorry.
And Richie's declined.
You can't nominate anybody that's not here, is that correct?
You can, subject to their not wanting to be it. You know, they could always reject it later.
I can make a nomination myself.
Yeah.
I nominate Mike Lane.
I appreciate the nomination, but however, I respectfully decline due to my inexperience on council. I would agree to serve as pro tem. However, I think vice president at this point would be a little bit presumptuous. But I appreciate it, thank you.
Okay. About Jack?
You're it, bud. I nominate Bud, vice president.
Second.
All in favor?
Move
Aye.
nominations to be closed.
Okay, let's go back and have a motion for the nominations to be closed. We'll need a second to that, and then we'll be voting on that motion.
Need a second to that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Me.
Okay, we have a nomination of Bud for vice president. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm going to have to listen to tape for sure.
I make a motion that Mike Leahy become our, assume the office of pro tem.
President Pro Tem.
Second.
Can I do it now? I can.
Yes.
I move nominations to be closed.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, nomination of Mike Leahy for pro tem. All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Okay. Should be it for the, all right, next one, just Larry. Me to read?
Yep. I have no idea what it says. None.
Read it out loud. Says that this letter is being read and I am no longer council president. I pour my heart and soul into being president of this borough. Since I have lost support and currently the faith of my fellow councilors, please do not put me in as head of any committees, vice, or pro town. After some serious thinking and resigning, I will remain on council to fill out my term, and it's signed, Jack Bish.
I make a motion that we, or request that a letter of thank you be sent to Mr. Jack Bish for all of his service on our council as president. Oh. Item number 6, I'm making a motion to swear our K-9 officer Riggs as a member of the force, and that he also be issued a badge.
Did you get, John, did you get all the information you need on the paper that was filled out about the borough's responsibility or not responsibility?
I haven't seen it.
I did not.
Do we want to go to,
Before we make him a badge?
might be wise.
Okay, all right. I move that we have an executive session for matters of personnel.
Second.
Let the record reflect that upon the beginning of the executive session and into the discussions, I made the legal determination that the executive session was improper for the subject that we were discussing. And in particular, it had to do with proposed agreement for the K-9 and the officer involved with it. Therefore, no action was taken during executive session, no action will be taken now. And the next time the issue will be addressed will be at the work session scheduled for January 21st at 7 p.m. During the executive session, a proposed copy of an agreement between the borough and Officer Larry Allen Drake III discussing the K-9 unit was presented to council. Since that document should have been presented at an open meeting, if anybody wants a copy of that document, they will be entitled to that. What's that?
Do I need one?
Yes, we can get you a copy of the agreement, and it can be available to the public since it should have been presented at the open meeting.
With the understanding that it is a working document, it is not a
It
final.
is a proposed document at this point, subject to solicitor's review and council's review and those items.
Why was it assumed it was a closed meeting?
What was that, I'm sorry?
Why was it assumed it had to be executive meeting?
My understanding was this issue was not addressed with me beforehand.
No.
So when council called an executive session, sometimes we don't know if it's for a proper purpose until we hear what it is. And upon hearing the issue, we discussed the matter, and I came to the conclusion that it was not proper for an executive session, and therefore, we disbanded the conversation and brought the meeting back to order.
Thank you, John.